one of the things I look for, especially, is mention of the women. Most of the records are mostly what the men's activities are. But every once in a while in the early ledger, a man will buy from Levi a shirt and some pants and knit socks and have laundry done and all this stuff, and you know Levi is not doing it.
Right. Right.
It's the wife at home.
And it doesn't say anything about who she is or any of that. It's just that you know that she's there.
Yeah, it's just inferred.
Yeah.
One of the big products that the early farms did was butter. This is not what the gentleman is making.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
the women are working on it. The first ledger only mentions, I think, 2 women, and one is the widow. And she's widow's, whatever, no first name. This is usually how they are. The widow, you know, Hawes or the widow Robbins or something like that, but they're not given a first name.
Yeah.
The second ledger comes forward in history a little bit, and you begin to see women doing business, buying fabric and buying thread and buttons and things like that, and then their name will actually be listed, which is kind of exciting for myself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. So I'm thinking very early on, I mean, if you think about it, people going into the wilderness, which is what this was, and establishing a life, do you think there were a lot of women in that very early time? You know, when they were just, you know, they were coming up, they were literally coming up the river in a canoe and starting at, this is as far as we can go, so do you think there were a lot of women in that early time, or do you think they came as the area became more civilized?
From what I have read, a lot of the men came, some during the Revolutionary War, because they were Minutemen, and General Gage knew their faces. And I have a feeling there was a little of the get out of Dodge stuff going on. And I think they came up and cleared some land and started establishing like the first lumber mill and things, and then women began to come as family. I think some of them would go get family. I know Levi Morris himself, he was here part of the year and teaching school and friendship part of the year, and then eventually he married a young woman from the Friendship area, and they established a house which is Savage Oaks House.
Is it really?
Yes.
Wow.
His initials are in some boards.
Is it really?
Within that house, and
so
Holly can show
today
you
that's the Savage Oaks Winery.
Yeah, that
which
is.
Yeah. Not far from here, up the hill.
Yeah. So women weren't very far behind.
Yeah.
And as they tell in the book, come spring, you read about the families they came as a family unit. So you have to look at individual groups to see, did they come as a team? Did they come as a family? Did the men come alone? Some of the first men came as bondsmen with the first guys that came.
Yeah, I was looking at some history. This is actually down in Virginia, but I was seeing history where people sometimes would come to this country with an agreement that they would be transported here, and then they would have to work for a period of time to pay for being transported here, and then after that period of time they were free to go on their own.
Yeah, it was usually a 7-year bonds period. And it was really a written contract, and you find different ones of them, and it'll say at the end of their bonds period they'll be given a suit of clothes and maybe 12 shillings or something or other, and usually they should have been trained in a trade of some sort, or as a farmer or as a miller or something like that.
Yeah.
So we did have some early people that come in that way.
It's pretty awesome, ain't it?
Yeah, it's written right in the record because, you know, the bondsmen, that's the way it was.
Yeah. That's how they got their start.
Yeah, that was a good way to do it.
Yeah.
They didn't have a credit card or a debit card, but, you know, they managed.
Yeah.
And I think a man's word was worth a great deal.
Yeah.
And a handshake. Yeah.
That's pretty neat. So this is just a start, but you know what I would like to do is, when you are doing anything and you think this is a great story, if you'd be willing, I'd like to have you come back and tell the story. You don't have to do it here. We could do it at anywhere you want, at the Historical Society or any place you want, any place you're comfortable.
Okay.
But I'd just love to hear you tell the stories that you find and share them with us, and we can put them out there and let the world see them.
Sounds like a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna cut the video off now.
All right.
Bye, everybody.